Yeah, Facebook could be the comeback stock of 2019. The U.S. revenue very strong. And for those that think that core Facebook Blue is seeing declining engagement, that's not observable in the numbers. U.S. users actually grew in the quarter, so you have clean beat. You have what seems like fading concerns, perhaps, on the regulatory front, with 2018 having been the big investment year and all the pain. And a stock where expectations were so low, people were really bearish, maybe fell into a bear trap here, and the stock really kind of was spring-loaded for upside to pretty low expectations.
But Anthony, let me ask, you said that you think the regulatory cloud is gone?
I think that when you look at the results from Europe in the quarter, you're more than 2 quarters into regulatory in Europe, GDPR, and users return to growth. And also the revenue was actually strong. So even in the case that where we have U.S. legislation on data and privacy, I think that the investor takeaway from the quarter was that, hey, it's not really affecting the business. The company is working on it. They've made significant investments ahead of this. And in some cases, regulation will actually allow Facebook to take share because they've proven they have the resources to help write the regulation, write the laws, and comply with those regulations.
So your price target is $190. How do you get there?
So look, when you buy the stock today, you're paying less than 20 times for a company that's growing 25%. So we're looking at a target earnings multiple of between 20 and 25, we think 23. And the company throws off a ton of free cash flow. You have expectations now that we think are achievable throughout 2019. And if you're trading the stock and you look at it here in the 160s now, 167, the worry you might have is, are those 2020 earnings estimates money good? And what happened last night for all of us who model the financials, actually 2020 estimates went up. And I think the buy side expectation is for $9 of earnings in 2020. And that's how you get to 19 times for a clear market leader, right, where sentiment is I mean, the stock's had been beaten into submission, and sentiment had been fairly
Anthony,
soft.
when you see a headline like the one that we were talking about just yesterday, this idea that they had an app that actually Apple thought was so disastrous they kicked off the system because it was against their terms of service, or you read the story earlier this week that they were allowing kids to use the messenger service, knowing that they were racking up huge fees on their parents' credit card bill. Does that worry you, or is that noise?
I think that Facebook is much more on the case than they were a few years ago on these issues of data, privacy, safety, and security. And they made mistakes. They made mistakes a few years ago, but they've invested in 2018 was a massive investment year to tackle a lot of the issues that the press, the Times, yourself have been reporting on Facebook. Some of it true, some of it misplaced and exaggerated. But they're on it, and I think that 2018 was peak negative press. And when you have kind of a stock where the headlines had beaten it into submission and the multiple had compressed so much, I think that really in 2019, I'm not saying that these headlines will go away, but it's an overhang, it's a cloud that might lift and give the multiple and give the stock a little bit more room to breathe than it had 2 or 3 quarters ago, let's say.